If you are a restaurant owner, you better tighten up when Keith Lee is in town. What's up, everyone? I'm Jonathan Panda. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to dissect how Keith Lee has changed the restaurant industry. Now, I'm aware that some of you all know about what happened with Keith Lee in Atlanta, and I'm also aware that some of you all don't know what happened. So for the people that do not know what happened, I'm gonna give you guys a little story time of what happened and who Keith Lee is. So long story short, Keith Lee is a famous food reviewer on TikTok. He does his job well, and people love him. A lot of restaurants request for him to come taste food and do a review on it because it brings a lot of publicity. A lot of restaurants like that. More publicity, more people to come eat their food, more money for the restaurant. Now, restaurants all over the country want him. And unfortunately, he can't do all that. So he decided he's going to do a little tour around the country. Long story short, last week he was in Atlanta on his tour, and he went to a restaurant that requested for him to come review their food. He went there, and because he's so famous, he likes getting his wife to go order food, because if he goes there, he knows he's going to get special treatment because he's famous, and he doesn't want special treatment. He wants fair treatment. So that way, when he does his reviews, they're authentic and they're honest. Because let's be honest, when somebody famous goes somewhere, they're likely to get special treatment. He didn't want that. He wants to give his TikTok viewers an honest review, as if he was a regular customer at the restaurant. So he sends his wife to go order food, and they tell her she can't order food due to some issue dealing with cleaning, and she had to wait an extremely long time. So Keith Lee hears that once his wife comes back to the van to tell him that, and he's like, oh man, this is not good because they wanted me to come here. So he decides to go into the restaurant to go tell them that he stopped by, but unfortunately he can't order his food because they have a long wait line. So when he gets in, the restaurant owner or whoever's in charge tells him, oh no, you're good, you can order your food right away, you're good, it'll take only 5 minutes for us to get your food ready. Once he hears that, he's like, what? So he asks the manager or whoever was in charge, so how long was the wait line before I came in? And they said an extremely long time. I believe it was like an hour that he mentioned. And when they told him that, he said, oh, you know what, it's okay, I'm fine, I don't want to get food because there's been people waiting for over an hour, and I feel like it's unfair for me to get food while they've been waiting here for an hour. Thank you for requesting me to come here to get food, but I'm just gonna go to a different restaurant. So that's what happened, and he went back on his TikTok, recorded a video on his review, and he explained what happened, and it was a nasty review. And because of that, he received backlash from some people, and some people were happy because he exposed how a lot of these restaurants are. See, a lot of these restaurants, they advertise how great their customer service is, but then when you go there, their workers are rude, they're nasty, and they wait long, they don't even cherish you, they just look at you like this. And yeah, that's the reality of these restaurants. If you don't eat out at restaurants, or if you don't have a lot of restaurants experience, then now you're aware. Some of these restaurants are not as friendly as you would think that they are, as much as they advertise. So he started getting backlash from people, restaurant owners, and people are now sending death threats to his family and him. They're mad because people are like, these restaurants are getting it out the mud. These restaurants are not millionaire restaurants. People will die behind their restaurants. So people are mad at him that he's going to these restaurants and doing these reviews. Now, keep in mind, every restaurant that he goes to, people request, like the restaurant owners, the managers, they requested for him to go to that restaurant and order food. It's not like he just goes there in disguise, does a review, and does a nasty review. That's not what he does. He gives an authentic review from restaurants that want him to be there. So these are restaurants, they know he's gonna come. And unfortunately, they weren't ready that day. They weren't up to par like how they advertised. And that's an issue, because when you go get food, If you're going to pay for food, don't you want great treatment? If you're a regular person, somebody who's not famous, don't you want great treatment? I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you would want great customer service. I mean, you're paying for the food, so you're paying for the service also. Plus, if the service is really good, you'll tip them. You'll probably do a double tip. I don't know. Anyways, because of that, people are mad, and a lot of people are also mad because these are Black-owned restaurants. See, Keith Lee, he likes doing reviews on Black-owned restaurants so that way they could get more publicity, because let's be honest, Black people are struggling. No matter what topic we're talking about, what category, when it comes down to Black people, we typically need more help compared to other demographics. Especially in the United States. And it's all because of American history, how slavery was such a leading thing. And these are the residual effects of slavery. You know, Black people are still having to get it out the mud. Black people are still struggling. And if you are not aware, restaurants are the hardest industries to get in. Owning a restaurant is one of the hardest things you can ever do because it requires a lot of credentials, a lot of certificates you get, a lot of evaluations. You need to be FDA approved. There's so much you need. You need to pay your staff. You need to keep the place clean. You have to prevent bugs, pests from entering your restaurant. You need to have customer service, and customer service is difficult. So with all that being said, restaurants are the hardest industries to get into, especially if you want to be a restaurant owner. It's really difficult. So that's why a lot of people are mad. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people may say, you know, he's wrong for doing that. If he's going to go there, he should at least give them a positive review. And keep in mind, when he did this negative review, he also stated that people should not bash these restaurants. They should not talk down on these restaurants. Matter of fact, they should go to the restaurant themselves and try it out. That review that he made was based off his experience. So he told his viewers, do not bash these restaurants. So it's not like he just went there, did a nasty review and told people, oh, bash these restaurants. And like I said, a lot of people are mad. And when you think about it, who's really in the wrong? Because first off, these restaurants want him there. Keith Lee does not have to go to these restaurants. He has so much fame. He can go to a high-end restaurant if you want. He can go to a restaurant that probably didn't even request him. But these restaurants want him there. Number two, these restaurants are advertising great customer service. And unfortunately, that's not what he got from his experience. Well, they were trying to favor him because he's a celebrity. But when his wife came in, his wife, who doesn't have as much status as him, came in, they didn't treat her as if she was famous. They didn't say, okay, yeah, you know what, we'll get your table ready in 5 minutes. They said, okay, you know, you'll have to wait. And that's an issue right there, because now they're favoring certain people. Just because you're a celebrity, that doesn't mean you deserve this type of treatment and everybody else gets treatment this low. So that's what Keith Lee is exposing. He's exposing how clout goes a long way, you know? He's exposing how some restaurants will treat celebrities a specific way due to the fame that they have and treat regular people like this, tip them a high amount, actually not necessarily tip, but like include special fees that are pointless for no reason. That's what he's exposing. So if you think about it, these restaurants are in the wrong for that, because if they're going to advertise great customer service, a great experience, they need to provide that. And treating other people better just because they have fame is not the way to go about with it. Now, from all of this, Keith Lee is also showing us that you do not need to lose your morals just because you have fame. Because if you all don't know who Keith Lee is, he's a trusted person. One, he always talks about how blessed he is. He does not blame his success on how great of a person he is. He always thanks his fans and God. He's a man of faith. He's a man of God. And that's why a lot of people love him. A lot of people respect him because of that. He knows that his fame didn't just become because he's just so special. He knows that it took a big community to uplift him. And due to God's blessings, he's in this position now. So people love how humble he is, how honest, and that's his authentic self. So he's not a negative, malicious person that just goes to these restaurants to just talk down on them. He goes there, gives an authentic review, and even if the even if his experience was bad, he also tells his viewers, do not bash these restaurants. So who's really in the wrong? You know, he's really showing us that you do not need to lose your morals, because a lot of people, when they get famous, they lose their morals. They start treating certain people wrong. They start feeling as if they're above everyone else. Think about it. Think about some of the people that you know in your personal life. Think about how they acted when they got some type of clout or when they rose to some type of success. How did they start treating you? Like, for the most part, most people, they start treating people beneath, people that, not necessarily people beneath it, people that aren't at that level of success as if they're beneath them. That's just the reality of life. And it's sad. That's just the world that we live in. So Keith Lee is showing us that. He's showing us that, one, a lot of these restaurants do not have great customer service. Two, you do not need to lose your morals when you become famous. You can continue being a man of faith, a woman of faith, be authentic, be honest, and let people stay in front of you in line. You don't have to always cut the line. The restaurant that he went into, they try to have him cut the line just because he was famous. But he said, no, I don't want to cut the line. Don't treat me unfair. Don't treat me better than other people just because I have this fame. He's showing us that you do not have to lose your morals. And another thing that I want to mention is that if you want to start a business with customer service, be aware that you have to be about it, because you have to treat everyone who you're doing service for the same way, no matter who they are. Famous, poor, tall, dark, short, big, skinny, whatever gender, whatever race, whatever demographic, you have to treat everyone the exact same. Matter of fact, you have to try your best. And don't lie, advertise that you're this type of person, because it's gonna come up. It's gonna come up, especially if you're getting a review. And another thing is, be aware. If you're gonna do something, be about it. Like I said, these restaurants requested Keith Lee to come in. It's not like he snuck in. They requested for him to come in. So if you're gonna if you're gonna request somebody with a lot of status, somebody with a lot of notoriety to come in, review your stuff, you have to be about it. You have to be ready all the time. Don't just expect for them to do you it's crazy. Don't expect for them to give you a good review while you just do half work. Anyways, that's what happened with Keith Lee. And he exposed how a lot of restaurants are not about what they say they are, how they have false advertisements on their customer service, and how some of their fees are unreasonable. Anyways, I'm Jonathan Panda. Well, before I end off the video, check out Keith Lee. Shout out to Keith Lee. He's a great TikToker. I like watching his videos. He's an inspiration. He's still young. He's like 27, I believe. So he's somebody that a lot of people can look up to. I believe he has kids, he has a wife, and he's relatable. And he's also a black man. For those of you who are black, he's relatable. You can be any race, any gender, you can relate to Keith Lee because he's humble. He's just that authentic. So definitely check his TikTok out, check out his videos. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel, but if he does, check that out too. But anyways, I'm Jonathan Panda. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my video, you liked my vibe, I would appreciate it if you give this video a like and subscribe. And come back for another video. Plus, if you subscribe, when you log into YouTube, my video will be posted on your wall. So make sure you subscribe and come back for another video like this. I'll see y'all next time.